Well, hello. Thanks for coming back to check out another video. I finally have nice nails. The last few videos I filmed, they were all chipped and horrible. Anyway, we are here today to do the April Shop My Stash, quite obviously, because you're looking at, part of my vanity setup. So before we get into it and we start shopping for the new items like I did last time, I have already put back majority of the things. I just don't find that part to be all that interesting. But I did keep out two things that I want to update you guys on. So the first one, this Super Shock This Super Shock highlighter in the shade Stole the Show from ColourPop. We pulled this in last time. I did not have pan on this. And you guys, look at all of that pan. Isn't that crazy? So I am now trying to just see if I can finish this off maybe this year. I don't know if that's feasible. I finished off Smoke and Whistles last year at some point, and it took way longer than I thought it would. There's 4.2 grams of product in these Super Shock highlighters when you obviously get them brand new. But yeah, so this will be staying in, but I just wanted to update you that I did have nice pan on it. And then we rolled in this butter bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is in the shade bronzer. I don't think this is the lightest shade. I think there's light bronzer and then this one, and then it goes a little bit deeper. But look at that. I am so shocked that I hit pan on this. I did not think that that was going to come. So obviously you can still see very much of the imprint up here. I tend to focus my brush right here, and I use this basically exclusively as my bronzer for the past month. I did dip into my Hoola bronzer because it was in my Benefit Cheek Stars palette that was also on my vanity. But this one was predominantly my bronzer, and I did not think that I was going to hit pan on this. And there was the tiniest little speck of it the other day, and I was like, wait, what? Is that what I think it is? And it is. So I think I'm going to leave this out on my vanity just to see how much we can widen this. But I am going to pick out another bronzer just to kind of alternate between the two. But yeah, that is all the updates that I have for you, just those two exciting things. So let me zoom you in, and we will get started with the shopping of the stash. Okay, so like I said last time, I don't go in order as to how you would apply products to your face, because then I'm afraid I will forget something. So we just go drawer by drawer by drawer. So we're going to start with the cream blushes, and I think right off the bat, I'm going to pull out this blush stick, if you could even see it, this blush stick from ColourPop. This is in the shade Cool It. I will give you a swatch of it. This is pretty much brand new. I have been working pretty consistently on the other one. I know the lighting in this room is always a little bit funny. There's nothing I can do about it. There are no windows, no nothing to help us. But like I said, this is basically a brand new stick. It's like a peachy pink. It's lighter than the Hen Party shade. I just want to pull this out and get some use on it because these two stick blushes are my oldest cream blushes. So that's going to come out. And then I would also like to bring out this from ColourPop. This is one of their Super Shock Cheeks. This is in the shade Between the Sheets. And I always screw these on so tightly. This is what this one looks like. I do have pan on this. These, I like the potted better, but you can see, even just trying to swatch this, this is so dried out. These Super Shock Cheek blushes dry out so quickly compared to the Super Shock shadows or the Super Shock highlighters. So I'm going to have to do some rehydrating of this. I have finished off one of these before, and I had to rehydrate it like this one will have to be. And once I rehydrated it, it was fine and it worked okay, but the longevity just wasn't there. So I kind of want to do that, rehydrate this, and then just maybe keep it in my little vanity section where I store the makeup that I'm currently using, and just try to finish this off because I would rather finish it off than it go bad on me. So that'll be it for cream blushes. So then we can dip right into this drawer, which is cream and liquid highlighters. So I showed you the Stole the Show that I'm still working on. I have been thinking about pulling this one out. Their packaging is super reflective. This is from Fenty Beauty. It's the shade Fenty Glow. This was, I believe, a limited edition shade from one of their holiday Christmas sets. But this is what it looks like. I do have pan on this. Let me try to not blind you with that mirror. This has a cream to powder feel to it. There's a swatch of it. I know it looks super dark on camera, It's like a dark kind of brown pinkish shade, I would say. It's really pretty, but I don't find that it leaves like any type of cast or anything on my skin, and so I just kind of want to pull this out and get some more good use on it. But I think that's it as far as these two like drawers of cream products go. Okay, so the next drawer that we will open up, if I don't like spill it out onto the floor, this houses all of my blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. So I do know I want to pull out this blush from Cover FX. This is in the shade Pink Dahlia. This is really pretty for spring, I think. So let me see if I can give you a nice swatch of this. It is just kind of like this great, almost peachy pink kind of shade. And I just think that this would pair really nicely with some of the other blushes that I have going on. This would also be quite the change of pace because I don't really have any like peachy blushes like this that I'm currently using, so I just want to kind of pull this one out. And then I do actually want to pull out another blush, even though I am trying to pan and finish off some blushes this year. But this one is, it goes like super underutilized in my collection. So this is from the ColourPop Sailor Moon collection. This was the blush called Cat's Eye. If I open this up without blinding you, you can see like it's still got the imprint and everything. I have like worn away this part of the imprint. This is just one of those like bright pink blushes, and it has like some glitters in it. But I don't really find that the glitters translate onto the face like once you start blending it out. So those are the blushes that I'm going to pull out. Let me clean off my hands and we will do bronzers and highlighters. Okay, so for bronzers, I'm going to, I know it's not that exciting because not this last month, but the month prior, this was the bronzer that we had out. This is from Nobla. It's the Skin Bronzing. I have mine in the shade Ambra. I do have pan on this, but if you guys have been here, you've heard me say I want to try to finish this off and potentially the Physicians Formula one. So the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I consistently work on these throughout the year. So I'm going to pull both of them out and maybe rotate, like wear this one day and then the Physicians Formula the other day. Let's see how much we can expand the pan on these within a month. If I feel like I could only finish one of them off this year, then I'll make that decision come the end of, you know, this Shop My Stash, and then I'll go more into like a rotating through my bronzers. But if there is any chance of me finishing off both of these, then it does not bother me at all to kind of neglect the rest of my bronzers. So I'm going to pull this one out. And then for highlighters, I know I keep like putting my arm in front of the camera, sorry. For highlighters, I need to find maybe a different palette to keep it in, but this is the palette that I keep my like depotted highlighters in. So I do have Mary Luminizer in here. I just haven't worn her in like a very long time, and she is very pretty. She's just not as impactful as what I have been drawn to recently, but I'm gonna pull her out because it is like such a pretty like golden shade, and I just think this would layer well with a lot of the other highlighters I have going on, and it would even wear beautifully on its own. So I would just like to pull this one out for the month, and I think that's going to be it because I have had both the ABH kit and the Uden's Eye, like both of those highlighter palettes out, and then these other ones that are in here, like we have the Becca Vanilla Quartz, the Nobla Ozone, and then this one is the Nobla Privilege. This was in last time, which is why it's on the bottom of this stack. But these two are like super icy highlighters, and you probably won't see me reach for these until like we get back into like fall and winter. So there is that. Okay, so before we open the palette drawers, let me give you a quick rundown of all the palettes that I currently have out on my vanity for one reason or another. I'm not going to open up these two. I'm working on these in the Project Level Up. So this is the Juvia's Place the Warrior and the ABH Jackie Aina palette. Last time I opened up my retro palette and gave away all the good updates on that, but I filmed my Shop My Stashes before I filmed the Project Level Up updates, so those two palettes may or may not change. But then the other ones that I have, so these are all actually from Deck of Panning. So we have the Batty Bean and Shroud Cosmetics It's Freaking Bats palette. This does have a mirror. Let me try to not blind you. That is what this one looks like. I'm just trying to hit pan on this 0 shade here. So then after that, I just rolled these in. So I have the Give Me Glow Christmas Morning palette. Look at that. It's kind of hard to, I'm so afraid I'm going to drop something. Okay, so that is what this one looks like. Very pretty, very Christmassy, but we're using it right now. Then I have the 3 BH Cosmetics Sweet Shop palettes. So this is Bubblegum, which looks like that. Then I have Orange Sherbet, which looks like this. And then we have Cherry on Top, which looks like this. So let me put these palettes back into the organizer where I had them, and then we'll actually open up the drawers and see if there's any other palettes that we want to play with. Okay, so I had my palette drawers open and I was like kind of going through them, and I think actually what I want to do, because there's quite a few palettes that give me spring vibes. So I'm going to do a separate video showing you all of the palettes that I would like to at least touch one time during this springtime season. So stay tuned. That'll be coming sometime later this month, but that is how I'm going to go about like picking out some palettes. Plus, I really don't have any more room on my vanity to bring out any palettes. So I think that if I just tell you like, these are the ones that I'm going to try to reach for, I can keep them in here and then just like pull for them as I want. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and open this drawer, which houses all of my foundations and concealers. But before we dive into that, let's just go ahead and talk about this. So this is the only setting spray, like the only traditional setting spray that I have left in my collection. So this is from Urban Decay. This is the All Nighter spray. This is what I have out that I am using. And then for primers, I'm just going to keep these two out. I know I had them out last time, but I don't have a ton of primers either in my collection. And this one isn't that old, this Rare Beauty one, but can you guys see if I hold it the correct way? The like little airless pump is up to here. Can you tell? So like I'm plowing through this, which isn't good because it was like on the more expensive side, but if I can just go ahead and finish it off and use it, then hey, that's great too, right? And then the pore primer that I'm trying to finish off is the Benefit Professional Primer. So those 3 are all ready up here on the vanity. I am currently working on a foundation, trying to finish that one off, but I pulled out my Lancome foundation last time, and I know that this is set to expire in June, but it's a little too light for me right now. This does have SPF in it, and so I think that's really what's going to expire in June. And as you guys have helpfully pointed out, there's no way you're getting enough SPF from a foundation, so I'm really okay with that. I'm really okay if I have to wait until like fall, winter to pull this one back out. But I want to... the Urban Decay Hydromaniac, I have mine in the shade 20 Fair. This is one of my oldest foundations. Now I know technically this is a tinted moisturizer, but I just lump them all together. So this is one of my oldest ones. And then I think the second oldest would probably be this Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. I have mine in the shade, oh, what is that, 15N Fairlight? Yeah, it's 15N Fairlight Neutral. I think I'm going to pull both of these out. So I am still going to really try hardcore to finish off this Tarte one that I'm working on. You can see, like, there's not very much in there. It's an airless pump, so we're about, like, right here. But I would like to dedicate all my use to this, and then once that one's gone, pull for these two. So I'm going to leave them in this drawer so that I don't clutter up my vanity. But you guys know that that's what my game plan is. That's what I'm reaching for. And I'm not going to pull out a new concealer. Okay, so now we are at the like primer, cream bronzers, and powders drawer. So I am going to pull out this cream bronzer from Milk Makeup. Mine is in the shade Baked. I only have 2 cream bronzers, and my plan is to kind of just like cycle through them this year. So that one can come out. And then for powders, I am going to pull out the Essence All About Matte powder. It's just a white translucent powder, but I feel like I'm going to want this to set down my eyeshadow primer and my concealer. And then my bestie gifted me this little sample from Charlotte Tilbury. Hello, reflective packaging. Anyway, this is in their lightest shade, which is 1 Fair. Yeah, I don't know if you can read that label. She said this is too dark for her. So I'm like, why can't you make a translucent version? So I'm going to try this out. She said the way that she does like to use it is to set down like her concealer and things like that. I'm going to try using it to set down my concealer and around like my smile lines and things like that. So this little guy will be coming in. And that is it from this drawer. Okay, all my camera batteries are dead, so if you see the cord, that's why. Anyway, let's open up the lip drawer. I know you can't, it's kind of still hard even though I have a new tripod to get the angles right for this, but we're just going to try. So I did place an Ulta order and I picked up this from ColourPop. It's one of their Luxe Lip Oils, and I'm going to classify this as a lip balm, so this doesn't break my low buy, but it just fits better into this drawer. So I have the shade Hot Spark, which is supposed to be like a peachy orangey shade. I've just been all about getting into some oranges, but look, I'm like swatching that out. You can't even, I mean, you can see it a little bit, but it's a very like sheer faint wash of color, and I thought that it would just be a little bit more impactful, but that's okay. I'm still going to pull this out. Let me wipe that off because it's kind of greasy and I don't want it to get on my clothes. Okay, so I have been on an orange lip and an orange blush kick, so I'm going to pull out this from Uden's Eye. This is one of their cream lip stains. I have mine in the shade Sweet Tulip. Let me roll up this sleeve. This is a pretty like kind of red orange shade in my opinion. Again, I know the lighting in here is kind of terrible, but I'm going to pull that out. And then in that same Ulta order where I purchased the lip oil, I also got an orange lip liner from NYX and this orange butter gloss in the shade Orange Sickle. So I was finding that with this particular lip color, it's really pretty, but I did not have like a good orange lip liner or a good orange gloss to wear on top of it, because even though this is their cream lip stain formula, it doesn't set down completely and it is like a little bit kind of tacky on your lips, but topping a gloss on top of it has been a lifesaver, and topping this cream gloss from NYX on top of it, it's so pretty and it makes it pull a little bit more orangey than how it looks a little bit more red here. So I have greatly enjoyed that and I would like to continue to play around with those. Then if you saw my Declutter My Ulta wish list with me, I put on there that I had the ABH new satin lipsticks on my wish list, but I am no longer supporting ABH, so I went back through my collection and I have this from Tarte. Now this is one of their Lip Splash H2O something or another lipsticks. It's in the shade Rum Punch. I really think this is probably a good dupe to that butterscotch shade that I was pining after. What do you guys think? I think it could work. I think it's a pretty good spot on dupe. So I'm going to pull this out and like put that to the test. And I am, keep in mind, still trying to finish off 2 lipsticks, but here we are. I just can't help myself. We got to pull some other things out. So I think what I want is one more lipstick, if I can find it back here. Not that shade. I know which one I want. It's the more peachy shade. That's a brown shade. So is it this one? Yes. This is the Juvia's Place Bullet Lipsticks. This is the shade Me. This is a like peachy nude lipstick. So I'm going to pull that one out. Kind of an odd swatch party, but here we are. This one does lean more of like a brown peach, but I still think it'll be pretty for this time of year. And then as far as glosses go, I am going to, of course, pull out this. This is a NYX Butter Gloss. This is in the shade Vanilla Cream Pie, I think. So this is a really pretty pinky gloss. I have been pairing this a lot with the 2 Bite Beauty lippies that I'm trying to finish off. So there's that. So that gives me 2 different glosses. Yeah, I think I might have pulled this out last time, but this is the perfect time of year for this, and I would low-key like to try to use this up. So this is from ColourPop. It's an ultra glossy lip from their Sailor Moon collection, and it is in the shade Sailor Moon. I don't mind the ColourPop lip gloss formula. I don't think that you can feel the glitters. I think these wear nicely and comfortably, but I hate these brush tip applicators. So there is a swatch of that one. So that wraps it up, because you guys know things like my eyeliners, lip liners, mascaras, and eyeshadow primers, those all just live on my vanity, so I cycle through those. I don't really need to shop my stash for them. So let me get the camera changed, the angle changed, and we will put all of this away together. Okay, that is it. I actually pulled out too many items to fit into my little makeup vanity, but that's okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.